I'm not good at online video games. I constantly get pummeled to death with an embarrassing kill-death ratio. I used to be good at games, but that's when I played them frequently. I stink at Call of Duty. Running around in circles and shooting someone as fast as possible doesn't fit my style. Yet, somehow, I've always been good at Battlefield. That's because Battlefield isn't a kill-death ratio game. It's about teamwork, which breeds inclusivity. As long as you're not a jerk medic who won't revive your teammates so you can slaughter other players. You get points for killing other players, but you get even more XP for playing the objective. That's why I've always been good at this series. Also, the kill points you get when defending or stealing your objective significantly increases. To this day, I usually finish in 5th to 13th place, depending on the strength of my team and my luck with the spawns. Even when I'm eating dirt, I enjoy the game because it's an experience that you can't find in a lot of other games. If you're complaining that Battlefield is too difficult, I understand. You die a lot. And EA needs to turn down the "your hit" sound effect. Here's the key to being a good Battlefield player. Learn how to be a teammate, and you'll be rewarded. Granted, you're not doing teamwork because it is rewarding. It's because it racks up more of those slot machine dopamine points. Just hand out ammo, revive teammates, repair vehicles, and you'll be greatly compensated for not playing selfishly. The beta had 4 different modes from what I personally played. Conquest, their bread and butter. Rush, which needs and is getting work done on it. King of the Hill, which I don't even remember even playing until I scrubbed through my footage. And if you want to play the game a little bit like COD, you can play Close Quarters. I've never been fond of the other modes, so I played everything but Conquest sparingly. The game moves fast like Call of Duty, but EA is working on slowing it down. When I popped in my first game, the shrinkage in map size was noticeable. Granted, running for a long time to reach your objective, only to get shot after 5 minutes of sprinting, isn't fun. However, dying every 20 seconds or less is no more enjoyable. BF6 tries to find a balance that almost feels unbalanced. There was a reward for making a long trek to conquer your objective in the old games, which is missing. There are 4 large maps that DICE is working on. EA announced that there will be 9 maps ready at launch.
At launch, we'll have 9 maps, including a remake of the classic Operation Firestorm from Battlefield 3.
Do I believe they'll pull that off? I hope so, but I'm skeptical. How big they really will be is yet to be seen. Fans are critical of the game, perhaps a bit too critical. However, those critiques help keep EA on its toes, allowing the game to improve over time. With 4 different developers working on the game, there is room for concern. Remember when the 2010 reboot of Medal of Honor came out? Danger Close Games worked on the campaign while DICE delivered the multiplayer. The result was an uneven split in the game's personality. The campaign was too short, glitchy, easy, and linear, while the multiplayer was a generic mess. Plus, both modes looked like completely different games. With DICE creating the multiplayer, Criterion Games and Motive Studio doing the campaign, and Ripple Effect designing the Battle Royale mode, the game faces the risk of repeating Medal of Honor's problem. With only very little time left, it's questionable what EA will achieve. From years of experience, I've learned it's best to wait for the reviews to come out and for the game to be on the shelf for a little while. Almost every type of major multiplayer game that has been released usually takes a while for the kinks to be worked out, resulting in the game being what we thought it would be in about a year or 2 from its launch. Am I suggesting to buy Battlefield 6 in 2046? No, I'll probably buy the game at launch after all the reviews have come out. So really more like a week after launch, or a few days. It really depends on the scores. Now, I'm not one of those guys who will only purchase the game if it scores a 9 or a 10. Those expectations are absurd and unfair to game developers. I recently played RoboCop Rogue City, which mostly got 7s, and I think those scores are a gross misrepresentation of how much fun I had with the game. Like movies, books, or music, each consumer may have a different opinion on the work. There are flaws in Battlefield 6, such as map shrinkage, twitchy movements, and destruction that lacks the levolution seen in Battlefield 4, but it's still quite enjoyable. In 2025, it's unfortunate that a sequel has to take several steps back in order to move forward. You'd think Battlefield 6 would be like Battlefield 4 on steroids, which maybe in a year or two it might be, but at its current state, I don't see it getting there. Battlefield 6 feels like a faster version of Battlefield 3 and 4. I haven't played Battlefield 5 or 2046 because of the negative word of mouth. The fortune and drawback of modern online first-person shooters is that games like Battlefield 1, which came out 9 years ago, can still be played to this day. That's a nice long-term investment that outlasts the shelf life of most of the open-world story-driven games that I have. Usually I just play them once and then I forget about it, while I keep going back to Battlefield for years and years. Because I could just pick it up and play, maybe for 30 minutes one round, then put it down. One main question I have is whether Battlefield 6 will have as many weapons as 4 did. Why did the future games have fewer weapons? The main appeal I had to Battlefield 4 was the endless unlocks and customizations that kept me logging into the game for years. There are 107 to 128 guns available in Battlefield 4, while Battlefield 6 is rumored to have 40 to 56 weapons at launch. Hopefully, that number will grow. Will Battlefield 6 outsell Call of Duty Black Ops 7? Well, it's either a rumor or a fact that Battlefield 1 outsold Infinite Warfare. The figures to BF1 are 15 million copies sold, while Infinity War's numbers are mysteriously absent from the internet. Is Activision controlling Google? What are they trying to hide? In my opinion, Battlefield 6 is generating hype. Still, it doesn't appeal to as wide of an audience as Call of Duty does, particularly among children and teenagers who prefer Fortnite products over games that actually require effort and creativity in their development. I haven't played a Call of Duty game since the Kevin Spacey one. Yeah, that long ago. The repetitive nature of running in a circle, shooting the guy, dying, and earning points became tedious, where areas Battlefield is an endless playground that generates a variety of creativity. What Call of Duty is like now, I have no idea. Do people dislike it solely because of the skins? Does it play like Fortnite now? I don't know. And I'm not going to fork out the money or hard drive space to find out. For now, it's best to wait and see how things develop. So far, it's promising, but also a little concerning. The game is a lot of fun, and in the future, it can only get better from there, hopefully. And I also hope that EA doesn't screw this up. But we all know what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2. It was a humiliating loot box scandal lesson that hopefully EA has taken note from.